for a trans woman to be president if they'd walked into private women's spaces like their dressing rooms and took advantage of people in the space?
Why do you keep muting me and you won't even answer my original question?
If you do not answer this question, you will be kicked. If you do not answer this question, I'm going to kick you.
No, don't run away. Don't run away.
I'm going to make it clear. 1 second. Let's go ahead and get a...
Don't run away. Don't run away, Dean. You're running.
Stopwatch. The only person who's running here is you. I've been able to give you a very...
What the heck? I've asked you the same question for like 10 minutes now.
And I've demonstrated for 20 minutes now how it's completely irrelevant to a debate. You're asking me what my definition of the word woman is. Okay, then could you respond?
Very relevant.
Then respond to the argument that I gave to demonstrate its irrelevance.
Can I respond to something that you said?
Please respond by giving a counter argument to my argument that I used to demonstrate its irrelevance.
Hold on. You said the word woman, or your definition of a woman, is as relevant as the shoes I'm wearing. How could you sit here and say that our language and equity in society as women, that word for us is as relevant as the shoes I'm wearing?
Yeah, because our debate, are
you, Dean? You just exhibited how misogynistic you are by saying that.
Oh my God, because our debate isn't about what the definition of the word woman is. Our debate is about if Donald Trump is a good president.
Dean, stop muting me.
I don't care. Wine. So I'm going to go ahead and start this stopwatch. I'm going to make this clear to you. If this stopwatch hits 60 seconds and you have not answered the question, would you support a trans woman as president if they had taken advantage of cis women inside of private women's only spaces? I'm going to kick you from the live. The stopwatch starts now.
Okay, so 60 seconds uninterrupted, correct?
I never said uninterrupted. Just answer the question.
Oh, Dean, see, you don't play fair. You play dirty.
You're already 10 seconds in.
Yes, thank you. So all the women in here, I just want you to know that Dean thinks that our word that gives us equity and...
Sorry, I'm muting you because you're wasting time. You only have 40 seconds left. The question is... 1 second. You only have like 30 seconds left. The question is, would you ever vote for a trans woman to be president knowing that that trans woman is taking advantage of cis women inside of private women's only spaces? You only have like 25 seconds left.
Well, you keep muting me. So.
Okay, you should be able to give a yes or no in the next 20 seconds.
Dean does not think that our language in society and equity matters.
15 seconds. 15 seconds to give a yes or no. 15 seconds to give a yes or no.
That is what Dean said.
10, 9, 8. Come on, yes or no?
Answer the question.
Come on, give a yes or no. You can't answer.
Will not know what a woman is.
And you're kicked because you couldn't answer the question. All right, we're going to move on to the next guest, guys. Wow, they're really coming out of the woodworks tonight, ladies and gentlemen. This is crazy, crazy work. All right, we're going to move on to the next guest right now. Make sure if you're inside of that queue that you support Donald J. Trump as president, everyone. Wow. Woo, baby. Wow. Holy shit, man. We are an hour and 35 minutes into this stream, and I feel like we're already like 6 hours deep, dude. Dude, I feel like I'm going to need to, I'm going to need to get a, where I need a coffee or something. I need some fucking caffeine, baby. All right, welcome in Taxpan American. You support Trump?
Yes, I do. I love him.
I thought so. Should you be my third ultra insufferable guest of the night? So the only reason why I brought you up is because I know you. We've had a couple conversations. And you by far universally rank as one of the most insufferable guests that's ever been on the live. Should I continue to torture myself?
I take that as a compliment, to be honest with you. I think I'm about to end your career. I don't want to lie to you.
Okay. All right. Well, before you do, I do just want to be able to thank a couple people here. Patricia, thank you so much for the $5 over on Venmo. Who says this lady said that she was 30. She needs to get a grip and stop being such a hateful person. Yeah, she was very, very hateful, Patricia. Thank you for the $5. I would also like to thank Sarah for the $1. Danny, thank you for the $10. Who says this grown-ass woman is acting like a child. Dude, she was such a child. Thank you for the $10, Danny. And thank you for the $10, Ellie, who says, quote unquote, Jesus fuck is the mood for this live. This is crazy. Marie, thank you for the $10. Thank you so much for the love. Thank you. Marie says, as a woman, I reject this individual. Every retail and food service worker hates her. We could tell. Yeah, definitely. Ellie, thank you for another $15, who says, please tell me the majority of women don't think this way. Oh, definitely not. Christina, thank you so much for the $20 over on Venmo, who says, thank you for defending logical thinking. Well, Christina, thank you for being here. This is a hard stream to be a viewer of, so I appreciate you for being able to support. Thank you for the $20. Show some love to Christina down below in that chat. And let's also get 500 Leslie W's. Thank you for the $50 on Venmo. Leslie with a 50, that is so kind, says, these people are set on their idol. They forgive everything, even when immoral and illegal. Yeah. They're just members of a cult. They're fucking sheep, Leslie. Thank you for the $50. That is seriously so kind. As well as Ellie, thank you for the $30. Oh my God, Ellie, you've shown so much love today. Ellie with another $30 says, this is pissing me off as a woman. Oh, I think that pissed us all off regardless of her gender identity. Thank you for the $30, Ellie. I'd also like to thank Daisy for the $1 on PayPal, Selfie with a $1, Jacqueline with the $3. And then Rebecca, thank you so much for the $20 on PayPal, who says, Dean, you have the patience of a saint with these people, listening to you most every day, and most great victims don't report. Well, Rebecca, I appreciate you for being here, and I appreciate you for saying that about my patience. I'm really trying my best. Thank you for the $20. Also, let's get 200 Heather W's for the $20 too, who says, as a survivor of SA, fuck her, and thank you for all that you do. Oh, well, thank you so much, Heather, and I'm really sorry to hear that happened to you. And then Terrence, thank you for the $10 on Venmo, who says, keep crushing him. I'm going to try. It's a little bit hard today. Then over on Super Chat, Tia, thank you so much for the 20 euros, who says, 2 insane guests in a row's wild. Keep doing what you're doing. They always say they want trans women in the men's restrooms, but if a trans man went into the women's restroom, they'd lose it. It's so hypocritical. Love from the UK. Yeah, they'll never talk about that one. And then Sacramento, thank you for the 20 Australian dollars, who says, as a cis woman, this guest is an embarrassment to women. She was fucking terrible. Oh my God. And we are all caught up. All right. Thank you guys so much for your love and support. Seriously, to all the donors out there, just know that I really fucking appreciate you. If you're watching and you want to help support me, support this stream, pay for my therapy, because obviously I need some after today, you can find my Venmo and my PayPal in the link tree in my bio on TikTok and at the top of the phone screen over on YouTube. Thank you for your patience.
Yeah, of course, my guy. I got you.
You have 60 seconds to end my career.
Okay. You love talking about E. Jean Carroll. And as we both know, well, first off, how does your mom feel about how you just treated those women and how you talk to them? You act like you care about women, but look at how you just treated those last 2 women that were up here. If I was your mom, I'd be disappointed.
I don't think I'd change anything about the way that I treated them.
I mean, you shouted at them, called them mean words.
How about this? Let's just do a quick
at them, honestly.
let's just do like a quick poll in the chat for everybody watching. Could I have been nicer or more rude to the last 2 guests? Because honestly,
the reality is,
I'd say that I could have been like more rude.
Well, the reality is, and I have proof of this too, you delete people's comments. You only allow people that agree with you in your chat. So that's a little fake news. Fake news, a fake chat from a fake host.
Okay, but if I only allowed people that agree with me in the chat, then you never see a W guest, but we unfortunately see one right now.
Well, you mute most of them.
That was funny. Literally, as I said that, I saw somebody in the comment section going W guest.
Excuse me.
But it's funny because saying W guest in the chat is actually like paradoxical by nature to the claim that you just made. Because you're arguing that I will mute people in the chat, right, that disagree with me. One moment, listen to me. You're saying that I'd mute people in the chat that disagree with me and only agree with the guest. And then you're having like a bunch of like the Trump fanboys in the comment section going W guess. But with the Trump fanboys in the comment section going W guess, in virtue of that fact, they're refuting your claim.
Yeah.
So that's great. Also, by the way, the only word that is banned in my comment section is my own name. I couldn't tell you why. I've tried to do everything I can to get the word Dean unbanned. Like, try it yourself. You won't be able to comment it. So in other words, I'd actually say that there are chat restrictions in which will reduce the amount of support that I will get throughout a stream.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, my guy, is there's a lot of other messages that aren't getting through. Like, I just recorded it as I was waiting, and other people do the same thing. So more fake news from the fake news king himself.
So listen, TikTok moderates a lot of words. That's not me. That's TikTok.
Wait, I want to end your career. Can I end your career?
Yeah.
Okay, so first off, really messed up how you just treated those women.
Don't think so.
And everybody else that comes up here. Dean, this nation is divided, and we have a chance to bring people together and save this nation. We really do. So take a deep breath.
Maybe we should have a president who calls for the execution of his political opponents. Just saying.
Well, we've been over that. He didn't actually do that.
Well, he did.
Well, disagree.
Well,
but
I mean, he said he was punishable by death, and reposted somebody who said, "Hey,
excuse me, sir. You always bring up E. Jean Carroll, right?
Yep.
So after our last conversation, you kept saying to me, "Hey, man, under your definition of grape, wouldn't you consider if somebody..."
Oh, yes! You still haven't answered the question from last time. Under your definition of grape, wouldn't it be grape for a man to forcefully insert his fingers into a woman's female member without consent?
Excuse me, can I answer?
Yeah.
Okay, so last time we talked, I said, hey man, Trump was found civilly liable of sexual assault. And you said, yeah, but per the normal definition of grape, you would assume that he sticking his fingers in her unconsensually would be grape. And as I was talking to you, because now I know, I didn't know this about you, but now I do, you're not actually out here for good conversation or good debate. So when I was talking to you, I didn't want to give you that win. But the reality is, Dean, you're absolutely right. If somebody puts their fingers in somebody and they don't have consent to do it, that is grape. You're absolutely right. But you know where you're wrong?
Where?
You're wrong that the information that was presented to the court, that they found him guilty of that, is not sufficient. So I disagree with the verdict of the court.
Your argument to end my career is to tell me that you don't think Trump is a rapist.
Because of the evidence that was provided in court.
If that ended my career,
we're not done. I'm not done, buddy.
If that ended my career, it would have been ended a long time ago.
I'm not done, buddy. Well, listen, you screaming at women, you making fun of Charlie Kirk, right? That ended your career. Okay? Look at you laughing about it right now, too.
I'm just laughing at you. Like, you're crazy, dude. Listen,
right, bro. Tell Parker I'm sorry I made him cry. Tell Parker.
Give me 25 seconds here, man.
Like, no, give me one more second, though. Real quick. Hold on, real quick.
I'm done fighting for the mic. You keep interrupting me. I'm just going to kick you. I've been dealing with it for like 2 hours now. But anyway, like, I'm being serious. I will just remove you. So let me talk. Deborah, thank you for the fest party. I am like so done with just accepting insanity. We'll have so many people come up here and just say things that are crazy, right? And I just kind of let them slide. So I think it's time that we finally address the insanity. If you have 2 ears and you listen to the last 2 hours of debates, you would have heard nothing but crazy motherfuckers losing their goddamn minds, acting like toddlers, defending the indefensible and rejecting their cognitive faculties, then turning around and screaming, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Like literally, the first guest who came on this live that happened to be a woman, okay, as you already pointed out, I didn't kick her. She got banned because she kept on screaming, fuck you, insert name here, in response to everybody who donated to me. And then you're going to sit here and tell me that I'm the unreasonable one? I'm the misogynistic one? Because maybe at one point in that conversation, I slightly raised my voice to be heard when she wouldn't stop interrupting me, then unmuting herself? Like, and then also, just the virtue signal like you care about women. If you cared about women, then you wouldn't support the guy that took away their access to healthcare and has caused many of them to die. If you cared about women, then you wouldn't support the guy that has ensured that today in 10 of our 50 states, 60 pregnant victims of rape per day are denied access to abortion. If you cared about women, then you wouldn't support the president that has had a lifetime of misogyny, saying that the best thing that could ever happen to a woman's pregnancy, sexualizing a 10-year-old, and reinforcing patriarchal and misogynistic standards, telling women that they just need to cook clean, stay at home, raise the kids, like KIRK has had to say many, many times. So don't come up onto this live and tell me that I don't care about women, especially coming from the guy that's about to make an argument that the woman who's able to get her rapist held accountable in a court of law was a crazy liar. Just saying. Mr. Arrogant.
Do I get to talk for 3 minutes uninterrupted like you just did?
Well, that wasn't 3 minutes. It was around a minute and a half, but leave it to the guy that's only ever lasted 30 seconds to confuse a minute and a half for 3.
Excuse me. Do I get a minute 30?
Fried your shit.
Do I get a minute 30 uninterrupted?
Fried your shit.
Do I get a minute 30? I didn't get to say my shit, so I don't know what you're talking.
just
fake news. Do I get to talk? Can I talk?
Yeah, I guess. I'll allow you to speak.
Well, I appreciate that so much. Thank you. You're such an angel. The way that you talk to those 2 women, including one of them being an SA survivor herself, your mom's really proud, I bet. And God bless her. I mean that. All right. So you always bring up E. Jean Carroll, right? What was the evidence that they presented in the court? Could you please enlighten everybody? You're a smart kid. I know you know it. Could you please enlighten the audience?
Sure. Here's all the evidence that Donald Trump is guilty of raping E. Jean Carroll. The first form of evidence would come in the fact of her testimony alongside of the testimony of 7 of her friends, aligning with therapist notes from the 90s indicating that she was raped by Donald Trump. Another form of evidence submitted inside of the court was E. Jean Carroll's dress that she said she was wearing when she was raped by Donald Trump, and said that it had Donald Trump's DNA on it. She then submitted that dress to the court to get it tested for Donald Trump's DNA. The court took it, tested it for male DNA. They identified it. They said it was true that there's male DNA on this dress. They then turned around, asked Trump to submit his own DNA to be tested against the DNA on the dress. And he said, no, 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 I'm not going to do that. If he was truly innocent, that wouldn't have been his DNA. So why would he refuse to submit his DNA to the court to be tested against the DNA on the dress? Maybe he's guilty, right? Other forms of evidence that I find to demonstrate that he's guilty of raping E. Jean Carroll are the fact that E. Jean Carroll's testimony had 0 inconsistencies and Donald Trump's had 2 big ones, okay? The first inconsistency within Donald Trump's fake, fictitious testimony that he was innocent hinged on him arguing that he had never met E. Jean Carroll in his life. Okay, that makes sense for a person to make an argument for that in court if they're accused of rape and they're innocent. Well, how could they have raped her if he never met her? Well, it turns out that he did meet her, and E. Jean Carroll was able to prove that by submitting a picture of the two together to the court. A second inconsistency, huge lie, is when he argued that he would never have raped E. Jean Carroll because she wasn't his type. But then in deposition, he confused a picture of his ex-wife to be a picture of E. Jean Carroll. Obviously, his ex-wife was his type, therefore E. Jean Carroll is too. And the third level of evidence that I like to use here to demonstrate that Donald Trump is guilty of the rape of E. Jean Carroll is that in 2005, he straight up said that he likes to grab women by the P word without asking first. And that is exactly what the jury proved happened to E. Jean Carroll. He grabbed her by the P word and forcefully inserted his fingers into her female member without asking first, which is something he says he does. Not to mention other corroborating facts of his characters, like the sexual exploitation of women and girls in Miss Teen USA and Miss USA, like the sexualization of his own daughter, agreeing with Howard Stern, calling her a hot piece of ass, like the sexualization of a 10-year-old girl when he told a 10-year-old girl he'd be dating her in 10 years in the 90s. So because of all these facts, I'd say it's very reasonable to believe that Donald Trump raped E. Jean Carroll.
Okay, so now I get to respond to everything. You don't mute me or interrupt me, right? If you mute me, it's a clear sign that I won and you're scared of the truth being spoken. So he said a lot there, some of it true, a lot of it wrong. Here's the reality. E. Jean Carroll waited 20 plus years for Donald Trump to run for president before she decided to actually bring this case about. She waited too long, so the Democratic state of New York that was 70% for Biden, 30% for Donald Trump wanted to execute lawfare. They rewrote the law, the ADA of 2022 or 2023, that allowed her to bring civil charges. Dean, I would ask you, but I'll just tell the audience. If it's a civil case instead of a criminal case, the court of law needs to prove him guilty by 51%. They needed the jury to go, okay, I'm 51% sure that this crime happened. If it was criminal, it would need to be without any doubt, okay? And that's incredibly important because I think the evidence I'm about to say that they used in the court of law does not prove it by 51%. So, as he said, E. Jean Carroll, her saying it happened, that was one of her pieces of evidence. She told 2 friends, not 7, fake news. She told 2 friends the day after it happened, and they did testify saying, yep, she told us. So far, her evidence is her saying it and 2 friends telling the court that she told them. They also used 2 other women who said something similar like this happened to them as well. But it's important to note, E. Jean Carroll and these 2 other women that are saying this happened, none of them filed a police report. None of them had witnesses. None of them had DNA evidence. You brought up the dress. The reality is Donald Trump's team said, sure, we'll give you some DNA for the dress, but we want your forensic report first so we can confirm there's no tampering going on because there's been nobody that's tracking the whereabouts of the dress for the last 20 years. So they wanted to make sure you didn't do something to tamper with it. No one's been following that dress for 20 years. So it's plausible, and this is why the judge who hates Trump, I'm not going to get into that, but this judge that hates Trump literally sided with Trump's team and said, okay, you don't have to give us DNA. So the dress thing's silly.
Oh, you're already really wrong.
Okay, well, I'm speaking the truth. Let me finish. I'll let you talk.
Well, I mean, you just said something that is like instrumentally and fundamentally.
Well, you said a lot that was 100% wrong.
Okay, I'll specify.
Well, let me finish. Let me finish.
For sure. I'll specify exactly how when you're done, but you just misrepresented the criminal justice system as a whole inside of civil courts, you're not subpoenaed to submit.
You're not letting me
evidence
finish,
upon
by the way.
request of the accuser. Just saying, like.
Well,
he
you're
had no
wrong
legal
about that.
obligation.
You're wrong about
He
that.
had no
If they
legal
felt like,
obligation to submit his
listen,
evidence.
you're wrong. You're wrong. If the judge felt like that Trump's team was acting in bad faith, he could have made it happen where they had to give it to him. But he agreed with them on the things I just said.
At what point did Trump's team say that they would be willing to submit the DNA evidence?
They did say that they would.
At what point?
They did say that
At
they
what
would.
point?
It was after whatever period you're trying to get to right now, but nonetheless,
Yeah, you know
even
that-
after that,
actually,
Badin-
that's a very important statement there, because
okay,
after
what, I'm going to rebuttal it. Go ahead and say it. Say it.
It was after the discovery period was over. Do you know what discovery
Yep.
is?
And legally, that judge, after the discovery period, if the judge wanted to, he could have still made him do it after the discovery period. So your point does not matter.
A judge reopening a discovery period for new evidence after discovery, after the discovery period is over, is like Chick-fil-A serving you on a Sunday. Sure, legally, Chick-fil-A can serve you on a Sunday, but it doesn't matter. They won't, because that is the order of the service provided. And
It's
keep in mind,
possible
you're
for the
not-
judge to do it.
Just like it's possible for Chick-fil-A to serve you on a Sunday. But keep in mind here, you're not just a member of the party of law, you're a member of the party of law and order. Courtrooms have order. And an order inside of the courtroom is that under typical circumstances, right, once a discovery period is over, that will not be reopened by the judge. Okay? It is already over. That's the time you have to submit the evidence. And by the way, this actually proves. This
You
actually
cut me off,
proves-
by the way,
this
so you're showing I'm winning. Excuse me,
this actually
excuse
proves-
me,
by the way,
Mr. Yelling at women. Excuse
by the
me,
way,
Mr. Screaming
this-
at women.
This actually proves that the judge was non-biased, by the way. Because if the judge had reopened the discovery period to allow that evidence in, that would be in the furtherance of the wishes of E. Jean Carroll and her legal representation. So in other words, by the judge refusing to reopen discovery period, and rather holding order inside of the courtroom, very similar to how, although a Chick-fil-A could possibly serve you on a Sunday, it doesn't matter, they won't, because they have order and rules too, right? E. Jean Carroll's, from her own testimony, the own evidence that she submitted, right, her argument, her legal argument inside of that courtroom would have been furthered if the judge had allowed discovery to be reopened and allowed Donald Trump to submit his DNA evidence. So that was actually an act that showed that he was bipartisan, an act that showed he wasn't just a
Do you
B1
agree
Trump.
that the judge could have asked them to do it still after whatever the period is called?
Yeah,
Because he legally
the same
He
way
could.
the same way a Chick-fil-A could legally serve you on a Sunday.
No, the judge could have asked him to do that still. And you're talking about a judge.
Same way,
Hey,
same way a
buddy,
Chick-fil-A
buddy,
could
real
serve
quick.
you on a Sunday.
Mister that yells at women, young man that yells at women, young man that yells at women and mutes people. Listen,
Oh my God. Okay. I don't actually think I yelled at them. They were yelling at me though. They were screaming, "Fuck you." Can you acknowledge that?
it was recorded that you screamed at them, my guy. You yell at women all the time. So
Okay.
simmer down.
Okay. So
I'm
wait,
gonna try.
wait, would you
Look
argue
at you
that?
scared.
Would you argue?
God forbid we talk about the
Would-
facts.
would you-
All right, you're
would you-
scared. Keep going. I'll say.
Would you argue that nobody should support me because, quote unquote, I yell at women all the time?
Listen, I want to finish my point
Yeah,
before you try.
yeah, exactly. Because when you try to bring up a point like, "Oh,
Tell
Mr.
Parker
Dean
I'm
yells at
sorry, by the
women," you can't defend that shit.
Tell Parker I'm sorry for making him cry on my debate on YouTube with him.
Wait. You're the one that made Parker cry?
No, that was another guy. But I set him up to cry because I gave him such a hard L. It's on YouTube. I defeated him so bad, flustered him so hard. I pretty much made him my son.
Are you the one that would? Are you the one that said that you'd still support Trump as president even if he raped a kid?
No, that's not me. I'm saying I was.
So you'd stop supporting Trump as president if he raped a kid?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
100%. That's why I love Trump, because he released the Epstein files. But listen, you're talking about a judge, buddy. You're acting like this judge.
You love
Let
Trump
me
because
talk.
he released.
No. Mr.
Come
that
on,
yells
I'm
at
not.
women.
Can I respond?
Let me talk.
You continue to repeat that I yelled at women. If you're going to repeat that, I'm going to respond. Do you think that everybody should stop supporting me because I quote unquote yell at women?
I mean, it's recorded, just like you making fun of Charlie Kirk.
Should people stop? Okay, and making fun of Charlie Kirk too. None of these things are true. You're just spitfiring false claims, and then when I want to start addressing them, right? You just one moment. You start spitfiring false claims, and then the moment that I want to address them, right? You say, "Let me talk." Excuse me. But anyways, to now refute all of the false points that you brought up, you brought up that I yell at.
Excuse me. It sounds like that.
Yeah,
Excuse
it does
me.
sound like that. So you brought up that I yell at women. Do you think that people should stop supporting me because I quote unquote yell at women?
Yeah, just like Tim Walz and Joe Biden have done to reporters, I think, yeah, they should probably stop supporting you if you yell at women.
Okay, so then everybody should stop supporting Trump for calling a woman picky, calling one ugly, and calling one
Not
unintelligent,
yelling.
right?
That's not yelling.
Wait.
That's,
So
so
it's more respectful to call a woman piggy than to raise your voice when she's screaming "fuck you."
screaming at them like you did. I would say so. Yeah, honestly, actually, what a great question.
Now I have a question. What is worse, to raise your voice when heated in a debate against a woman, or to sexually exploit them when they're naked?
I would just not do either.
Which one's worse?
I just wouldn't do either.
Which one's
Why
worse?
do you do them? Why do you do
Which
both?
one's worse? I do
Why
both.
do you do both? I just wouldn't do either.
Wait,
Why
you
do
just
do
accused me
both?
of sexually exploiting women?
Well, you allowed Kamala Harris. You voted for her, and she allowed great murder
voting
of her
for Kamala Harris. Oh my God. Okay, obvious. Okay, we're just gonna ignore that. So answer my question. Which one is worse, sexually exploiting a woman or raising your voice against one in a debate? Tell me.
By the way, the judge in the E. Jean Carroll.
No. Tell me. You weren't gonna do the same thing we did with the last guest. Tell me what is worse, sexually exploiting a woman or raising your voice against a woman in a debate? Which one is worse?
Oh, obviously. Can I say sexually on the live? I thought you had to say schmexually.
So sexually exploiting a woman is worse than raising your voice against a woman inside of a debate. You said that no one should support me because I've raised my voice when debating a woman. Therefore, no one should support Donald Trump for sexually exploiting women at Miss USA.
We can 100% get to that. Let me finish my other point. 100%.
Oh, yeah, of course.
You look silly, buddy. By the way, everybody knew you were already going there, but we're still on the E. Jean Carroll because you got to talk. I didn't get to talk.
Yeah.
Maybe hit that pencil of yours, my guy. You look stressed.
Yeah,
you and Parker get very stressed with me.
No,
it's
man.
very telling.
You're right. I'm super.
How do
you
feel about your fans? Hey, buddy, how do you feel about your fans and all the mean messages they're sending those women you talk to? All the unalive threats that they're getting right now from your fans. Could you please take this moment to tell your fans not to message those women that they would do horrible things to them? Could you just take that moment real quick to tell them to leave those women alone because you care so much? Could you please do that?
Leave those women alone.
Wow, you sounded like you really meant it, buddy.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, back to the
so wait, now I gotta say it a certain way?
Excuse me, let me finish my point about E. Jean Carroll, my friend.
Okay.
You brought up the judge and tried acting like this appointed judge was somehow trying to help Trump with the dress thing. Yeah, hit that pen. By the way, you should probably stop. It might be those heart problems you were having. And I pray for you. I want nothing bad to happen to you. I'm not like you, all right? I pray for you, man. I hope your health gets better. But for real, tell Parker I'm sorry about handing that out. But the judge was appointed by Bill Clinton in 1998.
Silence, Biggie. We need to address something important.
Excuse me. You can't...
Yeah, I do. I need to speak. I'm not going to try to speak over you. I'm just going to wear you out for a little bit. Eventually you'll stop. Because I do actually have something important to say.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Looks like he's done.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
You have my permission.
Thank you. Appreciate that, bro. Thanks for giving me permission. Highly appreciated. So, I mean, I kind of like just destroyed your whole worldview because you tried to like obviously in bad faith argue that nobody should support me since I raised my voice against a woman who's screaming fuck you in the middle of a debate. And then I brought up, how like Donald Trump has sexually exploited women. So this would mean no one should support him since that's worse than raising your voice at a woman. And like, obviously, because that's like the defeater argument, right? You went on to say, well, I got to say these other things first. I got to go through these other arguments first before I respond to the defeating argument.
I'll let you talk.
And then you just started going on about like DMs to those women. You weren't talking about what you wanted to talk about. You went on about my anxiety pin. You weren't talking about what you wanted to talk about. You went on about Parker. You weren't talking about what you wanted to talk about. So if you're going to deflect, if you're going to pivot, just try to just do one deflection at one time. You deflected away from the defeating argument that I gave you to demonstrate in accordance with your own values. You should no longer support Trump as president. But then you just introduce like a billion other deflections surrounding like Parker, me, anxiety pin, the web. Like, dude, just stick to one deflection at a time, please.
Okay, for sure. So back to E. Jean Carroll, which is what we were talking about before you really cut me off. Listen, so you support Trump if I'm a good boy, because I voted for Trump. You're saying I'm a good boy. I voted for Trump. Therefore, you think Trump is the right choice. Okay, I'm a good boy.
Bad boy for voting for Trump. Good boy for listening to me.
No. You can't take it back. You like Trump. I think that's awesome. Listen, if you like Trump, mute me again.
The position is bad boy for voting for Trump. Good boy for listening to me. And if you hate Trump, unmute yourself and start speaking.
Didn't say how long to say mute.
Oh, you hate Trump! You hate Trump! You hate Trump! You hate him! You hate him! You hate Trump!
You're trying to copy what I just did to you. Come on, that looks silly. You know I'm winning this right now. But listen, buddy, calm down. Hold on.
I mean, you've been trying to copy a rapist's mannerisms this whole time with the excuse me, so you're one to talk, weather boy.
Well, that's what I'm trying to explain to you is that I don't think he's I guess we can say rapist, apparently. I thought we had to say rapist, but you said rapist. I don't think he's a rapist, my guy. So that's what I'm trying to explain to you. So the judge that you were referring to was appointed by Bill Clinton in 1998. Bill Clinton, who invited Jeffrey Epstein to his house, not his house, the White House, 17 times his first term as president. Jeffrey Epstein, who we know hates and despises Trump based off all the information that's coming out, including the emails. Jeffrey Epstein, the same guy that during the hush money case,
honestly, I'm impressed. You
are
are
let me talk.
You are fucking honestly.
Go
I gotta say this real quick. Yeah, thank you. You are actually like surprisingly good at deflecting. Like I actually gotta give it to you. Like I'm impressed. Like so like everything else, like you're terrible. Like you're really terrible. But one thing that like you're unironically good at is deflecting. Right? Because like I brought up the whole, you said people should stop supporting me because I raised my voice when debating a woman. Obviously, Donald Trump sexually exploiting women is worse than this. Therefore, in accordance with your logic, no one should support Trump. And then you were like, okay, Dean, let me finish what I was saying. Then I'll respond to that. Talking about E. Jean Carroll. And then you went on to talk about me, my anxiety pin, those women, Parker, DMs, and now Bill Clinton and Jeffrey Epstein. You're good at this. Honestly, if I had to make any recommendation to you for like what kind of career path you should start building for yourself and what field you should go into, is like journalism for some far right think tank. You know what I mean? I feel like you could put a crazy spin on some 10,000 word Heritage Foundation article. You know, it's like titled Joe Biden fell asleep, and then somehow it's ending talking about Bill Clinton being best buddies with Epstein. Like, I mean, seriously, I
was making a point. I was going somewhere with that, but you just reminded me of something too, bringing up Joe Biden. Are you going to answer?
Oh, and now you're using my explanation of how you're so good at deflecting to deflect. I'm impressed. No, seriously, dude.
You're doing exactly what you're saying.
You take
Listen,
man. You're good at
You're
that.
not looking good right now.
No, man. Like, obviously, you're not looking good right now because you're deflecting. Regardless of how good you are at deflecting, you're still at the end of the day deflecting. So you don't look good because of that. Now, do you want to like? Okay, obviously, now that I know there's like no further argument that you want to make in relation.
I have a lot more to say.
Now that I know that there's no further argument that you want to make in relation to E. Jean Carroll because you used the time to make that argument to talk about Bill Clinton, Jeffrey Epstein, and Joe Biden. Do you want to respond to the argument that I gave you before you started going on this tangent about Bill Clinton, Jeffrey Epstein, and Joe Biden to address the fact that I brought up a defeater argument to your position, that position being that you argue that nobody should support me because I like raise my voice when debating a woman inside of a debate. That Donald Trump has sexually exploited women, and of course, like that'd be worse than raising your voice against a woman inside of a debate. If you don't respond to that, man, I'm obviously just gonna kick you. So,
E. Jean couldn't even remember the date, so he couldn't provide an alibi. Just so you know.
Okay. So
as I was saying, E. Jean accused 20 other people in her memoir. In her memoir, she accused 20 other people. No, that is true. You can look everything up. It's fact checkable. To the audience listening.
Yeah,
actually, about half of them, she didn't mention a name, but there's people like Harvey Weinstein, who I actually probably do believe. But by the way, all 20 of those people, she did not bring out.
So you said that.
Let me talk, Dean. Excuse me.
So you said that.
You go ahead again. Don't let me talk. But everyone knows I will post the real response on YouTube where I get to talk uninterrupted. That absolutely demolishes all of your points. But you go ahead. Interrupt me again. Deflect. Go ahead, buddy.
Beautiful.
Coward.
So you said that she named half of them. So what were the names of the 10 men that she named?
Oh, so now I get to talk?
Yeah. Yeah, I said yes.
Like right now, you want me to talk now? I get to talk?
Yeah. And I don't think that she accused Harvey Weinstein.
Andy Cohen, listen, he did. He's on the list. He apparently attempted to grape her in her own apartment in the 1980s, but you should look up and use a different AI.
Could I have a
But I'm answering your question. Excuse me, Piggy, who yells at women and screams at women and mutes people and doesn't want actual conversation and wants to make fun of Charlie Kirk and wants to divide the nation.
Yeah.
Let me talk.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you so much. You asked for the names.
Yep.
She left a lot of people unnamed out of the 20, but she included John Johnson, Harvey Weinstein, a guy named Roger Ailes, I believe, Les Moons, VES. This is all in her memoir and book. And you know who else she listed, Dean, that's really important?
John Johnson.
In her own memoir. Let me finish. Can for real, do...
I just asked you for the names, man.
Yeah, so I'm naming the names. Another name she added, she actually included herself on that list. Did you know that?
Les Moonves is, by the way, how you pronounce his name. So far I got Harvey Weinstein.
So that's what you got out of all of that?
1 second. So far I got Harvey Weinstein, Andy Cohen, John Johnson. Who else?
She included herself. In her own words, she said, "I have been a hideous man. I have grabbed, I have groped, I have humiliated. If we're going to make a list of hideous men in my life, all belong on it." Her own words.
Okay,
She also went on to say, "Excuse me, can I please talk
I just
uninterrupted?"
need all
You
the
tell me
names
when I
now.
can talk uninterrupted. You let me know.
Yeah, I just need the rest of the names. So you said that half of them were named. So far, we're at 3. We're at Harvey Weinstein, Andy Cohen, John Johnson. Wait, actually, we're at 4 because you also added on Les Moonves.
Yeah, like I said, she left a lot of names out. You can go read her memoir, but I want to finish this quote
So
real
are
quick. Do you
those-
mind if I finish the quote, then
No.
give you the rest of them?
No,
buddy?
I do mind because I want to focus on the names of the individuals that she accused.
Okay, because you yell at women and make fun of deceased men that were nice to you, you deserve so much respect. Let me answer your question then and not do what I want to do. I got you. I'll give you more
Thank
names.
you, thank you. So we got Harvey Weinstein, we got Andy Cohen, we got John Johnson, and Les Moonves. Who else?
And literally the rest of the names are unnamed, but I'll tell you what she said about them. She left them unnamed.
Oh, it's okay. We'll just focus on
and
the
by
ones.
the way,
we'll just
can
focus on the ones that you do have a
excuse
name
me?
for. So can I
Can
please? Okay, so we'll just focus on the ones that you
I
have a name
talk?
for. Real quick. So we'll just focus on the ones that you do have a name for. You were able to name 4. You said Harvey Weinstein, Andy Cohen, John Johnson, and Les Moonves. So first and foremost, going from saying that she accused 20 men to you being able to name 4 is kind of funny.
No,
second
don't
of all,
believe me that she didn't leave that. She left the name.
Second of all, I do
Check
agree.
her memoir.
I do agree that she did
Chose
accuse.
not to name
One
them.
moment.
Excuse
I do agree that she did accuse
Buddy, she
Les
chose not-
Moonves. Okay, sir.
You're acting like I'm wrong
Sir,
because she didn't name them.
sir, stop it.
Madam,
Just calm down.
madam.
I'm obviously not mad. I mean, you can just look at me. I'm like, if anything, I'm just kind of defeated because of how crazy the people I've been dealing with are today. I'm definitely not mad though.
Maybe you got worked up and that's why you're so tired. You used all your energy yelling at women, screaming at.
I know you've repeated that one about 1 billion times. It doesn't make it true.
Well, it's work.
Anyways, so
It's recorded.
Oh, sir. What's recorded is you crashing out like a toddler. Now you're able to name 4. So now let's start going through each and every single one of them. We're going to go ahead and start with the first name that you said, Harvey Weinstein. Can you please give me your evidence that E. Jean Carroll accused Harvey Weinstein of sexual assault?
Great question. Such a good question. Yeah, I pulled it from her book memoir that she released, where she named them, and the other names that are unnamed.
So,
she left
so
the
what's
name out. What's hard
the
to
name,
understand?
What's the
about
name
that?
of the memoir and what's the
E. Jean
page?
Carroll.
Hey.
I believe it's like. Well, just Google it. You got your computer right there. Ask what her book is called, buddy. You got it. I'm not going to do everything for you.
Okay, so E. Jean Carroll book name. Is it What Do
Am
We
I
Need Men For?
Dad, come on, bro.
Is it What Do We Need Men For?
I believe so.
Okay, and now what page of What Do We Need Men For did she accuse Harvey Weinstein?
Well, let me ask you this. What point are you trying to make? Do you think I'm lying?
I'm just asking you for your source, sir.
How about you just Google, did E. Jean Carroll say in her, whatever the title of the book was, that Harvey Weinstein?
I already did. Google says that she has not accused Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, because she has not come out and accused in the court of law. Like my point is, she did not accuse them in the court of law, but in the book she does.
Okay, so where in the book?
On one of the pages.
What page?
You got your supercomputer right there. Find it out, buddy. This is a weird point.
So
to make.
I
What,
just-
you don't believe E. Jean Carroll?
I just told you. I tried to look it up. Google says that she didn't accuse him in a court of law or out of a court of law, including in her book. So obviously, I'm going to be asking you for the evidence because it's your claim.
For the exact page number.
Or you
Well,
could
everybody
if you
watching,
don't
just
wanna-
fact check that.
if-
Everybody watching, fact check that on your
If
own.
you don't want to give me an exact page number, you could also just give me like an article referencing the accusation, post it on the internet. That's also fine.
Yeah, it's in her book.
Okay, so what's the evidence that it's in her book?
That if you were to get her book and open it and turn the pages and read it, you
Yeah.
would eventually see that she said it in her book.
Yeah, but like, what is the evidence that you're telling the truth? What is the evidence that what you're saying to us is factual?
What's your evidence that I'm lying?
Okay, well, that's not typically how like the truth of a proposition works. You can't just say something then argue that it's true unless there's evidence that it's not true. Right?
Yeah,
So
but
you're asking me to like prove a negative when in all reality the evidence burden would rest on you to prove a positive, right? And like if we do want to accept that you could just like prove ask individuals to prove a negative, I just simply say that E. Jean Carroll
got my
does
source.
not accuse Harvey Weinstein in her book, and then I'd ask you for your evidence that I'm wrong, and if you can't give me any evidence, then I'm right.
I got you with my sources. My sources are, What Do We Need Men For? A Modest Proposal by E. Jean Carroll, 2019. Hideous Men, an essay for the New York Magazine that she apparently wrote or wrote into. The Atlantic, a book review. Vanity Fair.
Okay, we'll just go with the last one. Vanity Fair. So I'm going to Vanity Fair. What do I type in to find the article published by Vanity Fair?
I don't know why you don't believe E. Jean Carroll. We should believe her on this, my friend. By the way.
I'm just not even clear if E. Jean Carroll even said this. So Vanity Fair.
Did.
So what's the title of the Vanity Fair article?
I want to answer your question. Excuse me, Mr. That yells at
So what's the title of the Vanity Fair article that talks about how she accused Harvey Weinstein of rape in her book?
She also, in public interviews, did say all of this from 2019 to 2023, confirming this.
Could you please link me one of those public interviews?
Well, everybody that's listening, you heard everything I just said. Go fact check it and take note that this kid right here doesn't want to have a conversation. He wants to try and deflect from the information given.
Wait.
Look how nervous he looks.
I'm so sorry, man. Could you define deflection?
Look at this guy trying to run away from the question.
Define deflection.
And Dean, no one can take you serious. You screamed that.
Define.
You acted like in
Hey, sir.
10,000 people.
Hey, sir,
you're going to post this stream with the proof of.
So the reason why he can't define deflection is because there's no appropriate and acceptable definition of the word deflection that would include one individual asking another individual for the evidence for their claim. So, I mean, just to clarify to you and everybody listening in, when you're in a debate against somebody and they make a claim and you ask them for the evidence for said claim, you're not deflecting. Okay? I mean, thought that one was clear. But, I mean, crazy that I have to make it clear. Now, you did say that the evidence...
guy that just yelled at women, you're going to post it.
Yeah, no one believes you. Now, you did say that the evidence for your claim could be found in multiple online interviews that were public and recorded with E. Jean Carroll. You also said that Vanity Fair and The Atlantic wrote about it. Could you please either give me the title of the Vanity Fair article, the Atlantic article, or the name of one of the public interviews that she gave where she goes over her accusation against Harvey Weinstein, please?
Yep, it's there for anybody to go look. It's in her book. Okay. I'm not lying.
So now, well, you said that
by the way,
one moment. You said that the evidence that it was in the book is the fact that it's been written on by the Atlantic and Vanity Fair, and then she echoed those accusations in multiple public interviews. So we're going to need the evidence that it's in the book?
Get the book.
Okay, that's not evidence.
The book's not evidence that it's in the book?
No, your claim that it's in the book is not self-justifying.
But if someone got the book and then it was in the book, would it be justified?
You're saying if your claim was true, then would my claim be true? Yes.
So would it? Okay, all right. Thank you for that's a W. Thank you.
That's not a W because you just said if it was in the book, then would it be in the book? This is like saying if I have blue shoes on, then would I have blue shoes on? Yes. If it's I'll use your logic against you. If it wasn't in the book, then would it not be in the book? If somebody got the book, read it, saw that it wasn't in the book, then would it not be in the book?
If it's not a W, why does it feel like a W?
Well, because you're stupid. Answer my question. If somebody got the book, read the answer the question.
You're right about that. You're right.
If somebody got the book, read the book, determined it wasn't in the book, then would it not be in the book?
Bro, if someone got the book and it wasn't in the book, I will vote.
Then it would it be in the book?
It will be in the book.
No. If it wasn't in the book, then would it not be in the book?
No, 100%. If it
wasn't if it was not in the book, then would it not be in the book?
If it wasn't in the book, then it wouldn't be in the book.
Yeah, now you see how fucking stupid you sounded when you tried to argue if somebody bought the book, saw it was in the book, then would it be in the book? I literally just mirrored your own logic against you. Holy fucking shit, get cooked. Now,
I'm not sure that you're making...
Now, obviously, what I'm doing here is I'm asking you for the evidence that it is in the book. You can't say, go read it yourself and you'll find it. That is not evidence that it's in the book. That's a self-justifying claim reducing down to your claim being it's in the book because it's in the book. So I'm going to ask you to please give me the evidence that it's inside of the book. Because as far as I know, the only time Harvey Weinstein is mentioned inside of her memoir is that she points to Weinstein and the Me Too movement as the reason why she decided to come forward despite her prior trepidation. Not that she was accusing Weinstein of anything, but rather the Me Too movement and Weinstein were one of the reasons why she came forward about Trump. Okay? I believe that is what is in the book. Now,
I thought she came forward about Trump because she said he defamated her, but whatever.
Multiple reasons. It has to do with the defamation, has to do with Parentstein, has to do with the Me Too movement. So my point is just asking you for evidence. Listen, my point is just listen.
And then you crashed out.
No. You didn't give me your evidence.
What do you think I am? One of these women you were talking to? Why are you yelling at me like you're yelling at them, bro? What is this?
Okay.
Why do you yell at everybody?
So you just proved that.
Why don't you let people talk?
You just proved that I wasn't yelling at those women.
Excuse me. No, you were. It's on camera. You're going to post the video.
Okay. you could get back in the guest requests if you want. I just want to be able to speak here for a second, and I don't want to have to spam the mute button. But feel free to hop back in the guest requests. Obviously, I don't think you are. I think that you're going to run away. But anyways, I just didn't want to have to spam the mute button, so I'm going to send you back down into the queue for right now. But anyways, so I mean, if you think that this tone of voice is me yelling, then I think that you're just justifying when you were arguing that I yelled at women prior, that I wasn't, because obviously this tone of voice is not yelling. Additionally, something else I'd like to bring up here is you continue to reiterate, right, that you have evidence that it's inside of the book. But then when I asked you for that evidence, you didn't give it. You just simply said it was. So in other words, you don't have evidence. And by the way, guys, I'll happily bring him back up, but he's not joining back in the queue. And the funny thing is he doesn't think I could prove that he's not in the queue. I actually can. Let's go to look at the queue together, everyone. Here's the queue of the people in the guest